Hi, today I wanted to show something visual I made. It's these sparkles that surround the crates only when you form a valid group or an entire group of crates joined by their size. Sometimes they will open the gate and sometimes they will not, but I will indicate the open gate with another effects later. I added this because one tester was confused sometimes because of certain situations. This situation here you have one door that opens with 5 crates or with 5 squares and other 4. That's a bit confusing sometimes because the bridges, in this case, for example, the bridge is closed and it is part of the shape. But if I close open it, in this case the bridge, it is no longer the 4 squares. This 3 and this one are no longer joined. But if I move here, the form is complete. So we can collect this sigil here. I think it's not perfect yet because there are some situations which are a bit ambiguous. For example, in this case, you are not forming a shape because this bridge is solid and it's required it touches the rest of the shapes. For example, in the solution for the C here, you have to make it solid, but in the solution for the box, you need it to be open because of the final shape requirements. I think it's a good element for the game, but sometimes it was not clear. I hope that these sparks that indicate the shape or the entire shapes makes it clearer. Because, for example, in this version of the game, all the levels begin with a shape form, but which does not correspond to any door. So you must or remake the shape in the correct way to open the door. But perhaps that's also a bit confusing, that perhaps I should make the color different when it's a shape that does not match the doors, and make it the correct color when you have a correct shape. Or something I plan to do is to add certain effect other than the opening of the door when you make the correct shape here. For example, some particles here would make the opening more clear. The effect is made, let me see. This is the particles, the scene with the sparkles. And in the script, the player, there is simply an array of sparkles. Why is it? I'm sorry, I'm filling it via code. This 15 here is a bit magic number, but I will change it later. This is the maximum number of sparkles I will need with shapes of 5 squares. But yeah, this number should be more dynamic, I think. Okay, let me here in the function that apply the movement effects, I make the sparkles disappear in several events. For example, when I move a crate, I hide temporarily the sparkles, and then after all the events are enqueued, I make the sparkles disappear in the rest of cases, or I make them appear. Compute the position of the sparkle for each square in the shape, I compute the position, as I said, of the sparkle and the rotation, depending on the direction of the connection. Let me show. In this case, let me put the game here. In this case, for example, if this position here checks the four positions in its vicinity, and depending if that position is in the group, I add a sparkle there or not. For example, here in the up neighbor, I don't find a crate, so I add or position a sparkle there, and in this case I don't set the rotation. Or in this case, for example, to the left, I also don't find a crate, so I put one sparkle there and apply a 90 degrees rotation, and so on. For each square, I compute the visible sparks that go in that direction, and compute the position, obviously, with the direction, etc. I think, as I said, it makes the rules of the game a bit clearer in case like this one, but I don't know, perhaps they are a bit annoying, so perhaps I will add an option to make them less prominent, or to not appear once the player is more familiar with the rules of the game. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions about the project or my other work. And please consider supporting me using some of the links below. Thanks.